Hey, how's everybody doing? Just your average schmo. I am back to do a quick video. I can't remember whether in my last video I shared the little accident that I had the other night or not. So quick recap. Went to take the dog out. At the time, it's a Saturday night. Didn't have some of the sections of fence done yet, so I took her out on a leash. Of course, the neighbor dog starts barking, so she takes off. I wasn't prepared for her taking off at full speed. So as I tried to hold on to her and stumble after her to keep up, I didn't have very good footing because there was a big area of the yard. It used to be a flower bed, but I opened it up. I took out a section of the fence on my deck so she can just run right through it. I'm going to reseed it with grass in the spring. Well, some of it's loose soil. I kind of lost my footing, was stumbling. She pulled me right into the one of the fence posts. So, good news is, didn't do anything to the fence posts, so they must be in there pretty solid. Bad news is, it janked my arm up pretty good. It looks a lot better than it did yesterday. I've been putting antibiotics on it and some alternating warm and cold compresses. I thought originally it might have been broke or fractured. I'm still kind of weary. I mean, it don't hurt when I move it, but if I move it a certain way, if I try to put too much weight on it, I get some sharp pain. So I'm going to give it a few days, and if I'm still experiencing that, then I guess I'll have to kind of bite the bullet, if you will, and deal with the bill that comes with going and getting x-rays. But good news is the fence is done. Outside of me putting the inner layer of pickets up, and then a few odds and ends, like where I put the gate in, there's a little bit of a gap at the bottom, obviously, so it don't catch. Well, I'm going to dig out the ground there and put a big... I got one, it's cracked. I mean, it cracked clean, so they'll go basically right back together, but it's a big, like, 2 foot by 2 foot landscape block that was actually buried right there. When I went to put the one post in, I found it. I think I'm going to, for now, dig it out so that sits flush, and then the gate will be, maybe a ½ inch above that. And that'll eliminate her, where the gap is, of being able to, like, dig right there. She's gotten pretty good. I mean, she does dig around in the dirt a little bit, but normally if I snap my fingers, I say, hey, she stops. So. But I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that she's safe and secure in the backyard, so when she's out there, it'll take a little while for her to get used to not being able to see through the fence and stuff. But I think she's going to get to where she really enjoys it, because she can go out and just run free. And I think I'm going to get like a big ball, something, that she can have out there to play around with. It's nice then because, as I'm doing the rest of the inside of the fence, she can be out there with me. So. Alright, what I got here is the new My Thrill Club. This is a monthly subscription box that I subscribe to through Amazon. And if you're a big fan of horror and mystery and thrillers, and you like to read, like actual books, not like on a tablet or anything, which I am, when I have time. Let's be honest, I don't very often have time. But yeah, I would take a book over an ebook any day. Hence why the next room over is a library that's got like 500 plus books in it that I never have time to read. And I keep getting more. But hey, eventually, as long as my eyesight holds out, which it was, I've got pretty damn good eyesight. Eventually I'll be able to retire. Eventually, I'll probably be like 80 before I can retire. But longevity runs in our family, so hopefully there will come a time when I can just basically just sit every day, sit out on a porch or sit out in the back deck with the dog. Of course, I hate to think of it this way, but by the time I get that old, unfortunately, Kiwi probably won't be with me anymore. But I'll probably get another dog. But that's in the future. Right now, I'm happy with Kiwi. You know what I'm saying. But yeah, I'll have time to read. So, but yeah, I got a Kindle. I got books on it. I haven't read any of them. I never picked the damn thing up. I'm thinking about like resetting it to the factory specs, and probably getting rid of it. Because I never use it. And I'm a sticker. I prefer hardbacks over softback or paperbacks. I don't know. I think hardback books are they just feel more substantial, as a book. They're not flimsy. Paperbacks, after you read them for a little while, the front cover always kind of gets rolled, right? Yeah, you don't have that problem with a hardback book. All right, so this box, I don't remember exactly how much it is. I'll look it up and put it in. It'll be in the description box down below. I don't say it's like 25, maybe $30, somewhere in there. It comes with basically 3 items. It normally comes with a piece of candy, like a sucker, and then 2 books. And so far, there's been 1 hardback and 1 paperback. So there you have the sucker, and this looks like it is. It's a Chupa Chups is the brand. Looks like it says Choco something. I'm guessing it's like a chocolate. Alright. So that feels like a hardback. Hey, actually they both feel like hardback books this time. Alright. Pull back the tissue paper. And we'll pull the first one out. And the first book is Ararat or Ararat. Oh, and now Christopher Golden. If you've never read any of Christopher Golden's, I recommend you do. I haven't read this one. I'm guessing it's probably a new one. I have read a few of his. I used to get a there used to be a paperback book club back when I really started getting into buying a lot of books and so forth, and before like subscription boxes were a real big thing. There used to be a book called the Leisure Horror Book Club, and it was put out by the Leisure publisher. That was the name of the publisher, Leisure Books, and they were just horror and paperback. And like I got introduced to a lot of the authors. Then I further got like special editions and autographed books through Cemetery Dance. I got introduced to a lot of those authors through this Leisure Horror Paperback Club, like Richard Lehman and Tom Piccirilli and Graham Masterson and obviously Christopher Golden. God, I can't even remember. There's a Simon's. I want to say Simon Clark, I think, is another one. But yeah, so Christopher Golden. And actually, I think I might have one of his books that's autographed from Cemetery Dance over in the library. But all right, Scott Smith from the New York Times best-selling author of The Ruins and a Simple Plan says about this particular book. Extremely gripping, Golden is a master of claustrophobic dread. I'm assuming it has something to do with mountain climbing or something. I'll read just a couple more back here, a couple of smaller ones, because they got a bunch of quips from probably critics and other authors. Chuck Wendig says, Ararat has that horror adventure vibe that's like candy to me. Delicious terror candy. Golden seizes your heart in his hands with a tale as terrifying as it is thrilling. Brian Keene, another big author that I got introduced to through the Leisure Horror Book Club. He does a lot of zombie novels, so if you're into zombies, Brian Keene is a good one to check out. He's the best-selling author of Pressure and the Complex. He says, Ararat is Christopher Golden's masterpiece, a chilling thriller in the spirit of Dan Simmons' The Terror, H.P. Lovecraft's At the Mountains of Madness, and John Carpenter's The Thing. I loved it. All right. So, says Christopher Golden's Ararat is the heart-pounding tale of adventure that goes wrong on a biblical scale. When an earthquake reveals a secret cave hidden inside Mount Ararat in Turkey, a darling, newly engaged couple are determined to be the first ones inside, and what they discover will change everything. The cave is actually a buried ancient ship that many quickly come to believe is Noah's Ark. When a team of scholars, archaeologists, and filmmakers make it inside the Ark, they discover an elaborate coffin in its recesses. Inside the coffin, they find an ugly, misshapen cadaver. Not the holy man they expected, but a hideous creature with horns. Shock and fear turn to horror when a massive blizzard blows in, trapping them thousands of meters up the side of a remote mountain. All they can do is pray for safety. But something wicked is listening to their prayers, and it wants to answer. That sounds like a good read to me. When I'll get around to doing it, who the hell knows? One of these years. Alright, number 2. Another hardback. This author I have not heard of, but it's called To Tell You the Truth by Gilly Macmillan. Oh, it says, To Tell You the Truth, Everybody Lies. Shari LaPena, New York Times bestselling author, says, and I quote, one of the most unsettling and unforgettable heroines I have ever met. Alright, let's see. Book page simply says addictive. Liv Constantine, New York Times bestselling author of The Last Mrs. Parrish, says Gilly Macmillan is a master of creating tension that is so exquisitely unbearable. And Publishers Weekly says it's a writer to watch. Okay, to tell you the truth, everybody lies. Real quick, the blurb says, Lucy Harper's talent for writing best-selling novels has given her fame, fortune, and millions of fans. It's also given her Dan, her needy, jealous husband, whose own writing career has gone precisely nowhere. Now Dan has vanished, like his writing career. I added that. It doesn't say that. But this isn't the first time that someone has disappeared from Lucy's life. 3 decades ago, her little brother Teddy also went missing and was never found. Lucy, the only witness, helplessly spun fantasy after fantasy about Teddy's disappearance to the detective's fury and her parents' despair. That was the start of her ability to tell a story, a talent she has profited from greatly. But now Lucy's a grown woman who can't hide behind fiction any longer. The world is watching, and her whole life is under intense scrutiny. A life full of stories, some more believable than others. Could she have hurt Teddy? Did she kill Dan? Finally, now, Lucy Harper is going to tell the truth. Cross her heart. Cross her heart and hope to die. So, that sounds pretty interesting too. Now, I have to say, out of the two, just based on the blurbs inside the jackets, this one would probably get my attention first. It sounds a little more horror, adventure. This one sounds more of just like suspense, which I like both of them, don't get me wrong. But ultimately, I'm a big horror geek, so I tend to gravitate towards the ones that are more horror. Ones that have maybe kind of that almost supernatural or like monster type aspect to them. But hey, who knows? Maybe this one does have that aspect. Find out eventually one of these days when I get around to finding the time to recap Error from Christopher Golden and To Tell You the Truth, Everybody Lies by Gilly Macmillan. So, make sure you check out both those authors. Sure, those aren't the only books I've written. Like I said, Christopher Golden, I know I've got at least one of his novels in there, I believe signed. I might have a couple of his novels. Probably not all of them signed, but I might have a couple. Hey, what are you doing? Hey! Get out of there. She's rooting around in DC stuff over there. No. You got toys downstairs. You go play with your toys. Come on. Come on. Get over here so I can see you. Look over here. Look over here. You gotta stand taller. There you go. Now they can see you. Alright, you ready to go downstairs? Watch some TV? No, we're not going out. We're just going downstairs. Alright, that's it. That was a My Thrill Club box for October. So make sure you go through Amazon, look up My Thrill Club if you're interested in getting a couple of horror, suspense, mystery type novels and a sucker every month. Until the next time, which I don't know what the next one will be. I know I got two mystery boxes coming from Chalice Collectibles, so that might be the next thing. But whatever it is, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you will know whatever the next video is when it drops. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. I'd greatly appreciate that. And as always, goes without saying, but hey, look out for yourself and those around you. Makes it much easier for all of us to stay safe and healthy. Until next time, see ya.